Welcome to the FilmGamer podcast, season 6, episode 1, number 64. Let's get right into the weekend box office. We have Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures releasing Send Help. It hits 20 million. Does anybody know what the last original 20th Century Studio movie to hit 20 million was? Because I don't know. It has been a while. In part because when Disney bought Fox, they terminated their marketing efforts. And so I'd have to think like Bohemian Rhapsody was like the last one. That was like 8 years ago now. It feels longer. But number 2 at the box office is more impressive. It's Iron Lung, the Markiplier movie. This one was marketed in a way that I would do it, where it's just directly from your YouTube channel to YouTubers. There's not like a big deal about it. There's no cast aspersions on like prestige or something. It's just a pure genre play. I'm not, if I can see the in a post-apocalyptic future after the quiet rapture event, a convict explores a blood ocean on a desolate moon using a submarine called the Iron Lung to search for missing stars and planets. That sounds awesome. And audiences thought so too. 17.8 million with minimal marketing. He's his own distributor, which is pretty funny. But like 17 million, that's dope. I haven't even seen a trailer, but I think I've always thought if I ever made a movie sometime soon, hopefully, I would just market directly to devices of like, you can do this if you ever post an ad on social media. It's like men age 18 to 45 on Android phones who like sci-fi. Boom. Because they're the, biggest movie-going demographic. You could actually do 18 to 25. And the younger you go, younger audiences will be more active towards going to see movies. So, it's like men age 15 to 30 or something like that is what I would do. Number 3 is Melania. People are kind of losing their minds on this because it's like an Amazon MGM Studios picture that they bought for about like 70 million or something like that. And it opened to about 7 million. Brian Stelter of CNN wrote Melania's breaking records. No, he said this on CNN. It's breaking records for a documentary. It's sold out. It's amazing. And then he posted that clip on Twitter in the moment that he got any sort of pushback. He's like, oh, of course, after I post this, the actuals came in and it's not 8 million, it's 7 million, which completely, in his mind, changes his argument to say that the movie is like a total flop. And it's the same corporate BS doublespeak that I see all the time that CNN does. And it's ridiculous. It's basically to either go with the flow and make the, Republicans look good, or make Melania look bad and stuff and say, oh, yeah, everything with this administration flops, which it does. But, the whole setup to fail. Like, anybody who follows the box office like me will tell you that documentaries are not big budget grossers, nor do they often get wide releases like this. So, of course, a movie is going to do well. You're basically looking at 2 documentaries of the highest grossing kind. Music documentaries are kind of their own thing because they're just filmed concerts. But, you got March of the Penguins and Fahrenheit 9/11. March of the Penguins kind of did around this amount. It ended up ending at like 77 million total. So Melania will get nowhere near that, especially with Amazon distributing. This will be, just an advertisement for Prime Video. And then there's Fahrenheit 9/11, which opened to like 23 million in the middle of June, grossed over $100 million in a theatrical run by Lionsgate. He couldn't secure Lionsgate for Fahrenheit 11/9, so it kind of, and interestingly, they're both bellwether examples of Michael Moore doing a documentary during the first administration to say, don't vote this guy in again, and then he gets voted in again. So that's kind of like funny. America doesn't listen to Michael Moore, but that's because, liberals are artists, Republicans are business strategists. So, as a business move, I can't speak to Melania doing that, but clearly Jeff Bezos thought we have $70 million to spare to impress the president and help him keep his marriage afloat or something. I'll watch clips of this movie maybe if there's anything interesting. It's sort of like a comeback vehicle for Brett Ratner, who was exiled during Me Too for a lot of inappropriate stuff. But moving on to Zootopia 2, went up 9%. It's crossed 400 million. It might beat Minecraft, which was in the 420 zone, like 423 million domestically, to overtake it and become the highest grossing movie of 2025. And then you have at number 5, Shelter, the latest Jason Statham vehicle. I'm going to watch it. This is with Black Bear. And I find it so interesting. Now, granted, they don't have a built-in audience like Markiplier did or Roque, who released Dead Man's Wire. But this is their second release in a row. They have a decent product where, Sydney Sweeney had that movie. Christie, terrible title. Shelter, also a terrible title. Both flops in the 5 million range. So I wonder how much they cost and that kind of thing. Hopefully they, make some back on home video. Number 6 is Avatar Fire and Ash. Week 7, 386 million. It's crossed about 1.4 billion globally now. And it's to make a whole lot of money. Now, this is down 600 million. Granted, it can probably get to about 400 million, which would make it not a disappointment domestically. And then internationally, I feel like if it did 1.2, it'd be okay. It still will make a profit and stuff like that, but I wonder, will they go ahead with Avatar 4? Because the movies they mention are so expensive, inflation and all that, that unless James Cameron follows through on his AI promise, it'll be hard to see what they do. But the more as the years go on, because there's an age gap and they've shot a little bit of 4, I think it might work if they take a long time between movies. Some people argued, there wasn't the build-up between Avatars. Other people said the Fire and Ash simply isn't good. They mentioned that Fire and Ash is basically a continuation of The Way of Water, and, they just split it into 2, so that is why they had to have it come out 3 years, and that's why there wasn't as much of a build-up. But, moving on. Number 7 is Mercy, the Chris Pratt in a chair movie, another one by Amazon MGM. 4 million, 19 million total, 41 million worldwide. That's a decent number, but this movie cost 60 to 80 million. Then you get down to The Housemaid, 120 million, solid hit for Lionsgate. They haven't had a hit in a while, but this one did 250 million, so of course the desperate Lionsgate is going to look at a sequel. Then you have Marty Supreme, hit 90 million. If it gets to 100, which I don't know if it can. Let's see where we're at here. Just under 3 million. It'll be a stretch, but that would be A24's first movie, and I think that Timothée Chalamet could lock down Best Actor. Or they'll give it to Leo again, which, by many people's accounts is the better performance, and people just want... The people who want Timothée Chalamet to win Best Actor just want him to win. There's rarely, when it comes to Oscar talk, people actually talking about what deserves to win. It's all about the narrative and whose time it is. Number 10, finally, is 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. Another movie that's, like, underperformed. This might not even hit what the first 28 Years Later opened to. Again, similar to Avatar, casting doubt on there being a follow-up. But we'll see, because it's already, like, set in motion. You know, if they can work out some sort of deal or renegotiation, we'll see. Hamnet hanging in there. Worth noting, I watched the Grammys tonight. Steven Spielberg, who wasn't there, but he won a Grammy because he directed the music documentary on John Williams, which is cool. Or did he direct it or just produce it? I think actually he probably just produced it. Let me see here. John Williams documentary. Music by John Williams. Yeah, directed by another guy, Laurent Bozero. And then Grazer and Howard produced it with Steven Spielberg. So Ron Howard is, let me see here, because obviously he has a, you know, blah, blah, blah. They show this, how many Academy blah, blah, blahs performances did he direct? I don't care. He has 2 Oscars for A Beautiful Mind because it won Best Picture. And he has an Emmy that he won really early in, like, 98, from The Earth to the Moon. Oh, that would have been about Apollo 13. And he was a producer on Arrested Development, yeah. Which won Outstanding Comedy Series the first time. He's won quite a few because, you know, that. And Golden Globe. Hey, he won Best Actor for Happy Days. That's cool. I wonder if you can see that on TV. And he had already won a Grammy for Beatles 8 Days a Week. So he's won an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar. So why doesn't he do a Tony? Seems odd to me. Trying to look here. Critic Association, Minimalist. Yeah. No Tony Awards. Get on it, Ron. Okay. So, moving away. Back to the chart. That's the number 10s. So, Return to Silent Hill. Not great reviews. I still want to see it because it's a Silent Hill movie and I love video games. There was a local horror group in Ottawa that I kind of wanted to hang with. But again, it's a lot of money to spend. So I didn't want to do that. The Jason Statham movie I mentioned, like, we knew Send Help got great reviews, but the Jason Statham movie, which is about, on a remote coastal island, Jason Statham rescues a young girl from a deadly storm, drawing them both into danger. Forced out of isolation, he must confront his turbulent past while protecting her, sending them on a tense journey of survival and redemption. Classing up an overdone premise with pro-execution shelters, highly derivative of previous Statham vehicles, but lean and mean enough to forgive recycled tropes. Is this a Rick Roman Waugh film? Yes, it is. No wonder it's lean and mean. Yeah. I figured it would be good because the last movie he did with David Ayer was not very strong. The Moment also had, which I haven't seen the trailer for yet. I'm going to pause this and look at it. Yeah, so The Moment is a mockumentary, actually, on Charlie XCX. I thought it was a documentary, but looks fun, 62%. Seems interesting to watch. It has a per-theater average of 106,000, which, next to Marty Supreme, and I'm thinking Asteroid City or something, has the highest per-theater average of the post-COVID era. So that's pretty cool. And then, yeah, in terms of milestones, we don't really have a lot going on. Haven't in a while. Box office is kind of boring. And then a couple of things I wanted to mention, though, was just like how... Okay, if I can get to it here. Testament of Annalee kind of flopped. Searchlight had a bizarre strategy where they thought it would sweep and it's the kind of exclusive strategy where you try and get the high rollers on board, and it didn't go wide until after Oscar nominations, and then it didn't get any, so it flopped. Is This Thing On, also by Searchlight, is another one that didn't do any of that, so they like missed the boat. I don't know why. You could say that those movies are pretty good but not strong enough. And then A Poet is one that, along with Anne Lee, was at TIFF. Hasn't really broken out or anything. Had a decent per theater average, though, this weekend, 13,000. An aging poet finds purpose mentoring your lady, a talented teen. Though exposing her to the poetry scene might be unwise, his own poetic pursuits led nowhere, leaving him a stereotypical obscure writer. Sounds boring, probably why I didn't see it, but I'm sure it's interesting because people were really going for it at TIFF. Now, if we go down to my reviews here, I did see Sentimental Value and Keeper, but I think I might have mentioned them in my most recent episode, if I can get into it here, when my last podcast episode was that I posted. And this one is not going to be, this one's audio only. So I did post it on the 20th. Okay. So if I posted on the 20th, and yeah, so the Bone Temple would be the last one. So I'll say Keeper. Okay, so this is my third Osgood Perkins film that I've seen. I did try and watch February, which was shot in this very town, but it was so boring. Forget it. So, I saw Longlegs, and visually it looked interesting, but was boring. And then The Monkey was kind of funny, so I was kind of into it. But it's, it struggled against the boredom. And then Keeper is just entirely boredom. They say casting is like 100% of it, and that's the issue here, is that Rossif Sutherland is just a black hole of emotion. He's not a good actor. He doesn't bring energy. He's not believable as anything other than a bad actor. And the movie is just kind of like, oh, I'm so sorry, And the only thing you have is the remnant of, like, he kind of sounds like Donald Sutherland, his dad. Like Longlegs before it looks amazing, great cinematography and set design. Osgood Perkins is very good at that, but bad casting is fatal. And although Tatiana Maslany is a keeper, and I loved seeing the lines on her face, her expressions, you can tell she is a great actress working with like nothing. Rossif Sutherland is not, and if this movie had an equal, that movie really would have been something. But it wasn't. And then I saw Sentimental Value, 4 stars. It moved me. Smart, incredibly well cast, meta without drawing attention to itself. Well, too much attention. It manages to touch on film, relationships, and intergenerational trauma all smoothly. It is the best acted film of the year, 4 stars. If we go down to IMDb, or Wikipedia, actually, because IMDb sucks more and more and more and more. And we go to the Academy Awards, we'll see that as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 Academy Awards, eligible to win 8. And you got Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actress, Best Supporting Actress for both Elle Fanning and Inga Ibsdottir Lilius, Best Supporting Actor for Stellan Skarsgård, International Feature Film for Norway, and Film Editing. I would give it, well, I do like it quite a bit. Supporting, I would give supporting actress, I think, to Inga Ibsdottir Lilius. And I can't give it feature film because It Was Just an Accident was a better one. I can't give it screenplay because It Was Just an Accident is a better screenplay. Yeah, if I can go into that, because we kind of know what's going to win each category. Like, it's going to be one battle in Best Picture and Director. It's going to be Timothée Chalamet and Marty Supreme. It's going to be Jessie Buckley in a leading role. It's going to be Stellan Skarsgård in Sentimental Value, even though, I mean, it is point blank a lead performance. Everybody in the film is reacting to him. He is a film director. It is about him directing his life or trying to find direction in his life in connection with his daughter. And it's a response to that. You could go further and say it's about the house, it's about the family and stuff like that, but it centers on him. So it's ridiculous that he would win. It could have been Benicio, but Warner Brothers has, Sean Penn, who gives a better performance, but everybody hates Sean Penn. So it's like, oh, we could coalesce around, Benicio, but it hasn't stuck around, and he's won already. And then you have Delroy Lindo, Sinners, who, everybody loves him being nominated. And then you have Jacob Elordi as the one, aside from Stellan, probably the closest competition, I guess, if you cancel out, all the Warner Brothers movies, which is just funny because he's running a good campaign. This is a guy, I remember him sitting across from Coleman Domingo, a guy who's probably had to work really, really 10 times harder to get where he is. And, Jacob Elordi just kind of floated in on the kissing booth and is now he gets an Oscar nomination. And I don't know. I wouldn't say I'm won over by him. And I wasn't, because I didn't watch Euphoria and I hated the kissing booth and I hated his character. But he pointed out that his character was awful. So, yeah. The guy's kind of winning me over by just being general, whatever. So, yeah, Stellan Skarsgård is going to win that. And then supporting is probably going to be Tiana Taylor, which I don't like because I don't think her performance is especially great. I think that Annie in Sinners, Wunmi Mosaku, is more interesting. I think Amy Madigan is also a better performance. That'd be awesome if she won. Sentimental Value is the most muscular acting. Elle Fanning's character is the kind of role an actor gets where their role is so well designed and insulated that they can't really screw it up. Ironic to the character she's playing as somebody who's miscast. But yeah, Weapons, Amy Madigan is my favorite that I'd like to see win there. I did talk briefly about the screenplay award, so I won't double on that really. One Battle probably adapted. Original, okay, so I started to watch Blue Moon, and then I'm like, I don't want to watch this at all. It's too writerly. Oh, it begins in the pouring rain. The guy dies, flashback to 7 months earlier. And then it's that knowing dialogue where it's so obvious that somebody's saying dialogue that was written and is not real. Then you have Marty Supreme. It's biopic-ish. You have Sentimental Value, which is meta. You have Sinners, which is a cool idea and decent on screenplay on paper, but the directing is so powerful it overwhelms it. To me, it was just an accident. Is by far the best screenplay in this category, and it's not close. In the adapted category, you'd probably have to pick One Battle for sure, but I haven't seen Begonia, so yeah. One Battle for sure should win there. K-pop should win. I'll be annoyed if Zootopia 2 wins because I don't think that movie is that great. K-pop, I actually do think is a good movie. Elio is a terrible movie. I haven't seen Little Emily or The Character of Rain, but I love it when those little ones go in. Same with Arco. Rad, and I always love it when an actor gets nominated in a different category. It's fascinating to me. The Secret Agent, a lot of people talk about this. I don't, not super interested in it, but maybe waiting till the right time is good. Sarat, also getting nominated. That's interesting. Voice of Hind Rajab. I'm not sure enough people will be seeing it, but, the Arabic people of that region keep turning out these interesting movies. Documentary feature. The only movie I've seen this year is The Perfect Neighbor. That's a documentary. And the annoying thing is, I didn't think it was that great. Like, it's like strung together by police cam footage, and it just tells the same story again and again. These kids are playing around. This neighbor lady doesn't like it. They're all in rental agreement houses. And it's a community of rental agreements, and you see how, based on structures and organizations within society, how these people are thrown together into a violent outcome. And it's an issue about capitalism. It's an issue about, grand things that are, underneath the surface. But it's like, we've seen this kind of like black pain, murder, crime, win documentaries all the time. My mom pointed out about how Andrew Jarecki, who did The Jinx, the Alabama Solution documentary, is truly amazing. And I really should watch that because it's just basically gives a bunch of prisoners cell phones to record documentaries. So check out the Alabama Solution because it's about prisoners in Alabama and four guys serving life sentences for murder are the cameramen, and what it's like, the torturous situations living in prison. So, fascinating. So that's pretty much all I've seen, and that's the podcast for today. So it's a pretty short one. I did do a setup of the new gaming thing at bare bones. I put my PS4 down. But yeah, tomorrow's Monday. I'm still figuring out some things, my work schedule and whatnot. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. Because I'm still working on my setup. I got the bare minimum right now. And brought a few stuff from home, so I'm excited for that. But yeah, tomorrow I'll do my physiotherapy because I hurt my arms at work. And basically lifting. This was a week into training, but I didn't give myself a whole lot of time off because I was worried about losing my job. Then I came back early. I haven't heard it more since, but it's painful. My arms are still in pain, so I gotta really be careful. And being careful, I try, but yeah, we'll see how that goes, because I'm doing physiotherapy right now and I'm still in pain months later, and I don't know if that pain is part of it or not. So stay tuned for that. A little excitement. Sorry to end that on a bummer note, but yeah. Take care, and thanks for listening to the FilmGamer podcast.